you're just joining us now, it's Bookworm Hour! And you are joining Sir DJ Conan Doyle at the local library where characters come to life! Today we're going to be talking about Mrs. Lahiri's famous book, The Namesake. Wonder where she got the idea. The Namesake is almost like a biography of a young Gogol Ganguly who has to face the effects of his past throughout his life, manifested in his very name. It's a great book, and we're gonna... What was that? Me! Hello, bookworms! My name is Ashoka Ganguly, coming to you from beyond the grave. And beyond reality. Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that one of the characters in The Namesake has literally come to life. I am not alive, I'm dead. What is that noise? This seems like a perfect opportunity for you to tell me, Mr. Ganguly. How did you first react to your son's decision to change his name, literally writing your influence out of his life forever? It wasn't changing his name that I minded. After all, he changed it to the official name that we'd picked for him before. What bothers me is that he took so long to read Gogol's books. Do you think that your son not reading the book was another manifestation of him trying to abandon his past? Duh! I mean, my God, it took me dying to knock some sense into that boy. Even then, he didn't read the book until years later. Your son married a Bengali girl after you died, yet it was only after they divorced that he fully accepted his family and his past by reading Gogol's books. Now, why do you think that is? It wasn't the fact that he married Moshumi that did it. He realized that our expectations of him and what he does with his life isn't what is affecting his present, but all the random events that had befallen us, starting with the train crash. Wow! That was deep, Mr. Ganguly. Perhaps you should have been a literature professor. No, I just heard that from a librarian. It was my death that made him realize that home is forever. You don't think that your wife becoming a vagrant had something to do with it? Nope, all me. Now, about that whole home is forever theme. Early on, Gogol visits a graveyard and realizes names, even normal ones, fade away over time. Yet it never occurs to him to change his name until he uses it to give some kind of alter ego brave enough to kiss a girl for the first time. Why do you think that is? Because while names can fade away, it was really what the name represented that would still be around to haunt him? Because he is ungrateful. His name? Haunt him? I'll haunt that spoiled brat. Your son doesn't really exist, you know that, right? Oh, and I suppose that the metaphorical bonds that we attach to him simply by obliging him to come back to the house whenever something like my death occurred, ultimately preventing him from having a completely separate life, don't exist. No, they don't. You just said they're metaphorical. Well, I was speaking metaphorically, so it doesn't count. So, the themes that we've covered so far are essentially as follows. It is the events in your life and not society's or your own expectations of you that affect your life. Home is forever. And names fade away over time. Did you make an effort to teach these to him while you were alive? Oh, I was getting around to it, but he made me die early of a broken heart. An old man can only take so much. Speaking of dying, your memory of the train wreck began to fade over the years. Do you think that that shows that it isn't so much the events in your life that stay with you so much as their effects? Well, it does still affect you when you're limping and claustrophobic forever due to the impending sound of a train ringing in your ears, but yes, perhaps it does. Well then, why don't we move on to a new segment that I like to call Book Blitz. I cover trivia about the book that pertains to its central themes and plot. First question, true or false? Gogol begins to equate his name with who he is and what is expected of him when he realizes that names die over time just as people do. When did that happen? Next question. Why did Gogol purposely ignore his family and try to insert himself in on Maxine's life? He did what? Next question. Does it show Gogol putting family over luxurious lifestyle and happiness when he dumps Maxine? No, it shows that he's stupid for not marrying the rich. Next question. Why does Ashima get used to living in America? Maybe because all of her Indian relatives keep dying? I blame the cholera. Follow-up question. True or false? Does it signify her giving into her children's American's quote-unquote vagabond lifestyle when she decides to sell the house? No, it means that she finally got tired of looking old and wrinkly compared to my portrait. There are some perks to dying young. Next question. Does it count as a sort of, love karma? When Gogol is cheated on by his wife after years before being the boy toy in another woman's affair? I find your use of karma offensive. Next question. Does Gogol's father's blatant lack of understanding of how American holidays and fashion styles work show that he may also be wrong in his subtle disapproval of Gogol and Sonia's choices? Excuse me? Well, it appears we're out of time. What score did I get? 6,000 points. Woohoo! Does that mean that I got all of them correct? That's in rupees. Your USD score was about 6 points. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. That's all the time that we have for today. Join us next week when I try to summon a werewolf guest.